Leatherback sea turtles are the world's only warm-blooded reptile. They keep their body temperature 64 degrees Fahrenheit above the surrounding water, which is wild when you think about how cold deep ocean water gets. They do this through size, about as big as a classic Volkswagen Beetle, plus thick blubber and specialized heat exchange in their flippers. This lets them hunt in water that would shut down every other reptile. Their shell is completely different from other turtles. When leatherbacks split off 110 million years ago, their bones never fused together into a solid shell. The pieces stay separate, held together by tissue so the whole shell can compress under pressure instead of cracking. That's why they dive deeper than any other turtle. One female hit 4,409 feet in March 2024, nearly a mile straight down. They hold their breath for 85 minutes while hunting jellyfish in the deep. The family name is Dermochelyidae, and that keyless part comes from Greek for turtle. What got me digging around at 1 in the morning is how similar that sounds to the Proto-Germanic word for shell, scolio. Linguists say they're completely unrelated, different language families, no connection. But they sound nearly identical and mean the same thing. People were traveling and trading for tens of thousands of years before we have any written records. It seems like a lot of coincidence to say these words that sound the same and mean the same thing just happened independently. These turtles migrate ridiculous distances. One female was tracked going 12,774 miles from Indonesia to Oregon. They navigate using Earth's magnetic field, and they imprint on the exact beach where they hatched. That magnetic imprinting is why you can't fix population problems by moving eggs around. If you hatch Indonesian eggs on a Malaysian beach, those turtles are going to swim back to Indonesia when it's time to breed. They're locked onto that magnetic signature from birth. Malaysia is where the conservation story gets rough. In 1953, they had 10,000 nests annually on beaches in Terengganu. Local coastal people had always harvested some eggs for food, small populations taking what they needed. But the beach got famous for turtle eggs. People started coming from all over the island, and the harvest went from sustainable to nearly 100%. Almost every egg that got laid was getting eaten. So the government did what seemed like the right thing in 1961. They started taking eggs to hatcheries to protect them and increase survival rates. Responsible conservation move, right? Except they kept the eggs in full sun, and nobody knew until the 1980s that temperature determines sex in reptile eggs. Warmer temps make females, cooler temps make males. 2 degrees Fahrenheit makes the difference between a mixed population and almost all females. For 20 years straight, they released nearly 100% female hatchlings. When those females came back to breed in the late 1970s and early 1980s, there were no males to mate with. The eggs were infertile. By 2007, down from 10,000 nests to 2 or 3 per year, functionally extinct. Well-meaning conservation accelerated the collapse instead of preventing it. The global population is estimated at 20,000 to 30,000 nesting females, down 40% over 3 generations, about 120 years. But actually counting ocean animals is nearly impossible, so those numbers are educated guesses at best. Gabon in West Africa is the success story. They've got 15,000 to 40,000 nesting females, maybe 30% of the entire global population. The Pacific's a different situation, only 2,300 adult females left. Their throats lined with hundreds of backward-pointing spines called papillae. These catch jellyfish and let the water drain out, but nothing can go back up. It's a one-way system. Plastic bags floating in the ocean look exactly like jellyfish. A leatherback can't tell the difference until it's already swallowed, and then it can't cough it back up. One plastic bag gives them a 22% chance of dying. 14 bags makes it almost certain. This is on top of fishing nets, long lines, crab pot lines, ship strikes, and beach development destroying nesting sites. Here's the question nobody can answer. Were they already in trouble before we showed up? The last ice age ended 12,000 years ago. Sea levels rose about 400 feet. Thousands of beaches where these turtles had been nesting for millions of years went underwater. These animals are programmed to return to the beach where they were born. What happens when that beach is 400 feet below the surface? We know other leatherback species went extinct 20 to 30 million years ago, long before humans were a factor. We don't have any data on leatherback populations before the 1950s. We're making our best guesses about what their numbers looked like, what their baseline was. Maybe they were thriving and we crashed them. Maybe they were already declining from ice age changes and we accelerated it. Both things can be true, you know? They could be struggling with long-term environmental changes and we made it catastrophically worse with 70 years of egg harvesting, bad conservation, fishing gear, and plastic. We should stop doing the things that are definitely making it worse, whether we started the problem or not.